Okay. I promise you, I was trying so hard, so hard to be good this week. This came up on my Twitter. Eek. Police want answers after a vandal put googly eyes on the historic Georgia statue. So there's that.
Answers after a statue of a Revolutionary War general was defaced with, quote, googly eyes. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported Friday that local police were investigating after a query from city officials about the vandalism of Savannah's Nathaniel Green Monument went viral earlier this week. Quote, who did this? Someone placed googly eyes on our historic hashtag Nathaniel Green statue in hashtag Johnson Square. The official City of Savannah government account wrote on its Facebook page in a post Thursday. Quote, it may look funny, but harming our historic monuments and public property is no laughing matter. In fact, it's a crime, the post continued. The post has racked up more than 16,000 shares in the past 2 days.
That's because it's funny. Okay, I'm sorry, but a little Bart Simpson-like creature is somewhere out there with a thing of glue and a package of googly eyes. Aha! The Atlanta... Go away. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported Friday that local police were investigating after a query from the city officials about vandalism of the Savannah monument went viral this week. Who did this? Who did this? We here in Savannah will not stand for this sort of vandal. Oh my. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. Stay tuned for ActionGal and Llama Monster. I am the ever faithful Granny Monster. And this got 16,000 shares. I bet you, I'm pretty sure that this old boy has not gotten that kind of noise nor notice in some time.
Man walks into Home Depot just to sever own arms with a saw. Wait, what? Okay, this is at trulydisturbing.com, a truly disturbing headline, which, yeah, I'd say that kind of fits the bill. A man deliberately cuts his arms with saws in the aisle of a Home Depot store in suburban Los Angeles Wednesday, creating a gruesome scene in front of several horrified customers. Yeah, I can imagine. The man was in the store's tools section and went unnoticed until he began grabbing several small saws, including one meant to cut sheetrock, and started using them on his arms. He cut up both arms with hand saws down to the bone, said West Covina Police Corporal Rudy Lopez. Poor Rudy had to come to that scene. Can you imagine? Officers received several 911 calls and arrived, finding the man lying unconscious in the aisle in a pool of blood. Wow. An off-duty paramedic from the Pasadena Fire Department had been shopping nearby and, with help from the police, collected twine and rags from the store shelves and put a makeshift tourniquets on both arms, a move Lopez said probably saved the man's life. Police received a 911 call around 12:20 p.m. from the home improvement store on Azua Avenue in West Covina about a man who has injured himself. Witnesses say the man picked up several hand saws, started cutting his arms. You're just reiterating and telling the story again, so I'm not going to read it again because you're just saying what the witnesses said, and you just said that at the beginning of the article to try to make the article longer, which is just dirty pool, and I'm not going to fall for it anyway. This is totally disgusting, folks. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to Home Depot and seeing some fella in an aisle just Sawing away, just chop, 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 chop. I mean, come on. You've absolutely got to be kidding me. And if it wasn't for the fact that I guess there happened to have been a paramedic shopping nearby, you know, this dude would have been toast, although he's clearly mentally disturbed. So this is definitely disturbing news on trulydisturbing.com. So feel free to look it up if you want to. They didn't really add any photos, so I'm just gonna find something online to make this monologue look pretty. I know, right? Anyway, can you imagine though? Oh, jeez. Oh, okay, I'm out.
The plague spreads. From 1343 up to 1349, the plague explodes across Europe. In cities like Florence, Paris, and Constantinople, hundreds of people die every day. In Marseille, up to 60% of the population perishes. In Siena, Italy, 3 in 4 people die. Traditional plague alone generally didn't spread this fast, which is why it was able to move across the Eurasian continent with travellers. Most people were able to reach the next town or city before dying. However, when bubonic plague mutated into pneumonic plague, all it took was one coughing fit from one victim to infect dozens more, who could infect hundreds, who could infect thousands. The plague started to snowball out of control. In the city of Avignon in Paris, the Pope, Clement VI, finds himself in the middle of an unspeakable apocalypse. Hundreds of people are dying all around him, and he and his clergymen are powerless to stop them. To bring some measure of comfort to the dying, he declares the sins of any plague sufferer to be absolved upon their death, so that they can go to heaven. While this takes care of their spiritual beings, dealing with the physical remains of plague sufferers is a much more immediate problem. Graveyards are filling up so fast that there isn't enough land to bury the bodies, and not enough grave diggers to dig the graves. Instead, enormous pits are dug and bodies are thrown in wrapped in shrouds. One layer of bodies in a row, then a layer of quicklime to hasten decomposition, then a layer of soil, and then another layer of bodies with another layer of lime and soil, and then another layer of bodies, until the entire pit is full, like some sort of grisly tiramisu of death. Fearful of what might happen if the Pope were to succumb to the plague, the papal physician, Guy de Chailly, decides to act. He orders his master to protect himself with fire. If he surrounds himself with flames and heat, it will purify the air and protect him from the plague. In medieval Europe, people believed firmly in the miasma theory of infection, that dangerous sicknesses are carried through the air on putrefying invisible vapors. In a sense, they're right. Pneumonic plague is spread from person to person through the air. Great metal basins of fire fueled by oil and wood are placed around the Pope day and night, in the hope that the cleansing flames will purify the air and spare him from death. Luckily, the Pope survives, dying in 1352, after the main crisis of the plague had already passed.